everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Empowering Intuitives Talk Show here on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. And for those of you that are new to the show, I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Michelle Walker. I am a doctor of nursing practice. I also am a psychic medium and medical intuitive. And tonight, Spirit wanted to talk a little bit about something natural that we can do to help support us. And so we're going to talk about one of my favorite herbs of all times is holy basil or Tulsi. And you're probably thinking, well, if this is a spiritual teacher, why are we talking about herbs? Well, what happens is if we are stressed all the time, you get into a mode where it's really hard to relax, quiet what we call the monkey mind or the mind chatter. And when you are in a go, go, go constant state, it's really hard to connect with your higher self, calm your body, and calm your adrenals and stop overstressing the body. Now, I don't know about you, but I think my producer, Dave, and I really have levels of high stress. So, and I know a lot of you guys do as well. I mean, look at what's going on in the world. Look at what's going on in the US with the economy, with resources, food, gas, all of the above. So there's a lot of stress placed on us on a daily basis, not to mention the stress of our home environment, whatever that looks like for you, or your work environment. So we are always from multiple areas being stressed one way or another. And what can happen is when you are highly stressed, you stress your adrenal glands, which also you stress and your cortisol levels go up, right? And so that can cause us to start gaining weight. Now think about that. If you're overly stressed, most people, when they are in that fight and flight survival stress mode all the time, then tend to pick up weight a lot easier. So this is exactly where holy basil can come in. So holy basil, or otherwise known as Tulsi, it is an adaptogenic herb. And what that means is that it helps to restore the body to a more balanced state, especially during stressful times. So it also does a lot of things. It is like an overall fantastic herb. It helps lower your blood sugar. It can help protect you against infection. It eases the joints, helps lower the cholesterol, definitely lowers your cortisol level. It helps you sleep. It can be used with people with anxiety, depression, PTSD, insomnia. It helps especially with decreased libido or sex drive. It can help men with impotency. There's so many things. It also can help with weight loss because those people that stress eat, well, if your stress level comes down and you're better able to manage it, then you can not stress eat. So it does also support your brain function and decision making and overall cognition. Now, I mean, this sounds like a drug that is a drug. This herb is way too good to be true, but it really isn't. And it's fantastic. But there are some people that maybe shouldn't take it. So one, if you are trying to get pregnant, there's no data. So always when it comes to pregnancy, if there isn't solid data and you're not getting a confirmation from spirit that you should be taking it, it's one of those ones best to avoid during pregnancy because you don't want to risk what you don't know. But people that are on blood thinners or bleeding disorders definitely shouldn't take this herb. And sometimes this can interfere with sperm counts. So if you are trying to get pregnant in the male, then really shouldn't be taking it either. So just some things to think about. And, I like a couple different, this is one of my favorite brands. If you want to take it in a veggie cap, it's Gaia. It's called Stress Support or Adrenal Support. It's really good. And you It says to take two of these once a day, but if you really have an acute stressor going on, you can't take two of them twice a day. Ooh, we got to close up and I pulled it right away. There you go, Gaia Herbs. So try that one out. And if you are into tinctures and homeopathy like I am, you can make a tincture. And this is very shelf stable. You just put some droppers under the tongue. There's lots of really cool ways to make this. But dropper full with herbology is one of the fastest, quickest absorptions. You can make a tea if you get the loose herb, and there's just so many ways that you can take it. And if you are going to take a dropper full, you just take that. You can take it more than once a day if you're really having a lot of stress. But it also is a powerful antioxidant. So how great is this herb? So now you know why it's one of my favorites. And I'll tell you that it really does help calm you down. And it just gives you an overall sense of well-being. It really does. So if you don't have any contraindications, then try it for yourself. Always ask your healthcare provider before you start anything new, because I am not your healthcare provider. So I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm simply educating you on this amazing herb. Okay. So how awesome is this? And, there's other ones out there, and I may from time to time talk about other adaptogenic herbs such as ashwagandha, licorice root. There's a lot of them that they work on a lot of different ways to help empower you or help bring your body back into balance or homeostasis. So if you've never heard of this, I'm glad that you tuned in today to begin your journey with herbs. We have the power at our fingertips, at our disposal through technology. You can order from any place. You can go to if you have a local health food store, they probably have this. The capsules you can buy at the vitamin shop, you can buy those anywhere. But if you like the loose herbs, there's Mountain Rose Herbs online, Star West Botanicals. There's lots of places you can get it at reasonable prices. And it's really great. You can cook with this. Okay, I'm done. Really try it out. That's all I can say is, if you feel like, wow, that may be something that's beneficial, give it a go, try it out. And sometimes you may have to take it. Some research has said that, sometimes you don't notice the full benefit until like you're on something for like 60 days. But that may or may not be true. I noticed an effect immediately taking tinctures because they really do absorb better. But I'll tell you what, I can tell when I don't take this, I can definitely tell the difference on how I'm handling my daily life and my stress levels. So play with it, have fun with it. I'm here to educate and inspire you to have a little bit more power over your own health. And with the way things are going these days, getting back to basics, getting back to the natural way of doing things is very complimentary. So, all right. So we're going to take a caller. We have Sharon with us, and she is in Washington in the USA. Are you with us, Sharon?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can. Welcome. It's good to have you, my dear.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
So is there a particular area that you would like me to look at tonight?
Well, my dad passed away, and I didn't have a lot of closure with him.
Okay. All right. I'm going to pull a card for you here, and we'll see what comes up, okay?
Okay.
So this is a great little card. It's called the Seven of Summer. No more procrastination. Your powers come from making a decision. confusion that arises from overanalyzing the options. And, with this card, I get the feeling like sometimes it's hard for you to make a decision. You sometimes can be afraid that you're going to make the wrong one, or you are very concerned about what decision you're making and how it's affecting others. Would you understand that?
Yes.
And they're saying, but sometimes you take it to the degree that you just don't make a decision and you get into
Yes.
that fear of it. So I love this because this card is showing this beautiful fairy shooting rainbow rays, and they're glistening over some lily pads and lotuses here. And I think this is just very symbolic of the growth that can happen when you truly open up and shine your light and you allow that to come to you and through you, and trusting what you're doing and trusting the decision that you want to make. And I feel like you're intuitive, but you second guess yourself all the time. Would you understand that?
Oh, yeah, I'm taking classes to be more psychic or with whatever I got.
Wonderful, wonderful. And it's really that time. So I feel like I feel like a father energy is stepping forward, and he's saying that you, since a small child had issues making a decision. If they gave you too many choices, it was almost paralyzing for you. And this,
Uh,
I'm sorry.
yes, because I didn't know I had these psychic vibes, so I was feeling more what's behind whatever's offered too. So that was confusing.
And he's saying that, would you understand him to have been a really hard worker? I feel like he worked with his hands a lot.
He's a workaholic, yes.
And he is he's saying that, the reason why I was a workaholic is for a couple reasons. He said he feels bad that he wasn't there enough, and he tried to impart wisdom that he had to learn the hard way, but he didn't always have the best way of explaining it to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I had PTSD.
And he's just talking about, he wanted to work because that helped his mind. His mind was always going, and he's saying he didn't feel like he ever really got a break from the mind constantly go 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 go. And other people may not have understood that part about him. So it's almost like, if what we term attention deficit, um, or he just always worked under high levels of stress. And a lot of times it was what he put himself under. He's bringing this up because he's saying he understands this aspect of you because he had similar um, levels of stress or the way that he processed it, but he was able to make the decisions and move forward. And he's asking you um, that you just learn to love this aspect of who you are, and it doesn't have to define you. You can, and you are making progress. He's saying you have made progress in this lifetime with this. Do you understand that?
Yes.
He is okay. He's showing me some, like a book that has a lock, and this may be symbolic. It could be representing it. You know how like diaries have like little locks or something like this. It could be symbolic of you need to unlock you have the keys now. All it takes is you to step up to unlock that part of you. And I feel like he's talking about developing your own abilities.
Yeah, I'm really excited to do that.
Yeah. He's saying that you had it all along and you just had to get to a place where you're ready. So I feel like you recently maybe have been judging yourself against other people in this class and thinking maybe you weren't good enough or talented enough, or you're like, wow, how are they doing that? And I'm not doing that. Do you understand this thinking?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He's saying you got to stop that, you got to stop that. This is the time for you to develop it. Everything comes in the perfect timing, and but now is the time. You were not ready before, and that's okay. So he wants you to stop being so hard on yourself and remember, once you unlock this, it is going to progress very quickly for you. So he says, hold on to your bootstraps because it's going to be a fast ride here to help open this up.
Nice.
Do you have any, I can't talk. Has anyone ever told you about when you were younger? And I'm seeing you very, very young, talking to spirit. You used to see spirit.
I had, yes. My mom wasn't sure what's up with me, but I had imaginary friends.
Yes. So, because mom was not comfortable with that and didn't know what to do with that, but your father is saying that that was a regular occurrence for you for many years, and then you kind of turned away from it, and partly because maybe adults around you are saying that's just imaginary friends because that's what they needed to hear to be okay with it.
Yeah, my mom, I think, thought I was nuts or something.
It just that reached right up to her fear level, fear of the unknown, maybe a religious belief that she didn't believe in that, or what if she did, like that's so much unknown. So that it just brought up her own limitations and her own fear around it. It really had nothing to do with you, but unfortunately you were on the receiving end of those comments or feelings.
Yeah,
But
I did throughout my life say jokes, and they came true. And my sisters said, "Don't joke it because Sharon's jokes come true," but they just seem to fly out of my mouth.
and that's the like your dad's going, yes, you're seeing all of that, like you're realizing that it wasn't just jokes. That was spirit giving you that information, dropping it in. You had a knowingness about things. And so when you learn to understand the subtlety, because a lot of times people think, well, I'm not psychic because I don't have crystal clear vision. That's not necessarily the way you're going to receive it. And everybody receives their information a little different. And most of the time, especially as you're starting out, you get such subtle messages from spirit that we can tend to overlook it. Or if our mind is going a mile a minute, we tend not to hear it at first or validate it or acknowledge it, right?
Right.
So he's so excited for you because he's like, proud papa, like shoulders are back, chest is up. He's like, that's my girl. Like she's stepping into who she is. And he's really loving that. Um, he wants to just mention about, now I don't know if you had something about the car. He's telling you to be more careful in the car. So I don't know if you recently had a near miss or something that scared you, but he's just saying, you know, just be extra cautious in the car.
Okay.
Would you understand what he's talking about there?
Um, I'm not sure. But if I think about it, it will probably come to me.
Okay. Yeah, he's just saying that sometimes your mind wanders while you're driving, and he's just asking you to stay more present.
Okay. That makes sense. Oh, I did drive my sister's car, and I don't drive all the time, so
Okay.
yeah, it's rare that I drive.
Yeah. He's just saying when you're in the car, just be more cautious. Be more cautious, okay?
Okay,
And
I will.
um has your sister had a recent health scare? He's talking about um that she needs to take better care of how she's eating and what she's doing.
Yeah, my sister Karen has diabetes or gut issues, and she's trying everything to get better health.
Good. He's just validating that, and that um, she really has to be very rigid and strict with her diet, that she's not always doing. And he's saying she may tell you she's doing it, but she's not always doing it.
I
So,
know she's not. I know she's not. She's a workaholic, so sometimes she
yeah,
will grab a quick McDonald's or Taco Bell before,
yeah.
something else.
And yes, and that's what he's talking about. He's saying that those little times are adding up, and it's actually a lot worse for her. So he's suggesting there has to be a better way for her to deal with, like he's saying, once or twice a week she can meal prep, and then she has all that to take. She needs to make the healthy food so it's always available for her. So
uh,
he says you can tell her I'm calling her out on this, and she needs to stop that. And he's
oh,
chuckling.
yeah, it is. And the funny part is her kids will help her meal prep if they thought she really needed to. She's got
Well,
great kids.
maybe you need to plant that bug in their ear for her and let them get on her. And he's chuckling about that too. So there are
Um,
uh,
I
he
really miss my dad. Like, I really miss laughing with him. So we would be laughing about this if he
he
were
has a
alive and figuring what we would do.
he has a great sense of humor, and he's saying I miss those times too. And he just wants you to know that he's around and he's still seeing and watching over you and the whole family, and he loves that you talk to him and you remember the fun things, and um, that he's never far from your thoughts.
Is he the big fly that bugs me in my room?
I got no, but he's laughing. He's laughing like he's like it isn't me, but I might start something like that. I
Okay, and
feel
it was
like
bothersome, and that's how he is, because that's part of his humor.
yeah, he's very ornery, and he said that he likes to move something on your dresser. He likes to move stuff around on the dresser every once in a while, and then you're like,
I
but I have
always lose my glasses, and they're clear, so
yeah,
I'm always playing the find the glasses game.
yeah. He's laughing. He goes, now that's me. Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
That's
So he says you tell that sister of yours that I might have to come over there and start turning her lights on and off or something to get her
She
to.
will look forward to that. Thank you.
Now, does she have a son?
She has two sons.
He's talking about the one son that's just like him.
Um, they're both kind of like him in a way, so it's hard to tell which
He's
one.
talking. I'm asking the
Oh,
older
one
one.
name, um, there's an older one named Ty, and Garen is named after him.
No, it's not the one named after him. It's the other one.
Oh, it's Ty then.
Yes. And now is he the oldest?
He's the oldest. Yes.
That's who he's talking about. He's saying, this workaholic bug gene is in the genes, and that boy needs to find a balance. He is a lot like him, but yet he is, he doesn't laugh as much and he takes himself way too serious.
Yes. Yeah, he's just completing Job Corps, and he's really hardcore looking for that job already.
Well, he says, tell him that he's going to find one. He needs to have a little bit more fun and not be so hard on himself. You can still be centered and focused and work towards your goal, but he has to find a better balance. And just
Okay.
tell him for me, he says that I'm very proud of him.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
And you're very welcome. I'm going to leave that with you with much love, my dear. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. You really brought through my dad's sense of humor, which I missed so much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. My pleasure, my dear. And thank you all for tuning in tonight. And I hope you all have a terrific week, and I'll see you back here next week. Namaste.